Obama's program for primary education focuses on national curriculum standards, called Common Core State Standards, which only addresses math and reading. Common Core standards are voluntary for each state to adopt or not as they see fit. Do you agree with providing national standards, or should each state set their own? If you agree with setting a national standard, what subjects besides math and language arts should be included?
Well, certainly, since I believe in a democracy where the majority of citizens are going to be responsible for approving all legislation, I would include civics as part of that core curriculum. People need to understand how their government works and why it does what it does. That's as important as anything else we do. It's why the educational system is so important, especially if you're going to have a democratic form of government where the majority of citizens are going to be deciding what the laws are going to be or not going to be. So, yeah, I think certainly we talked about nutrition. That's the whole concept of science as a core curriculum, and math, which you can't fully understand science if you don't have the related mathematical requirements. Those are core subjects. That should be the federal government's responsibility to ensure that every person in the country, regardless of their age, should have access to the same high-quality process of education that every other student has. That can be done very quickly. In just a matter of a year or two, we could have the first programs in place, and that can spawn so that every person, no matter how rich or how poor, can have access to the very same educational instructors and material.
Now, I know there's a lot of people who say that the states should run each their own educational program.
Lots of people maybe who work for those organizations. I see no advantage to wondering who's in this state and wondering who's over here. Do they know what they're doing? Some people in states, depending upon how boisterous they are, want to manipulate the curriculum. They don't want evolution taught. They think that they're against evolution because they think there's something in the Bible that says change in biology is non-existent. Well, it's unfortunate that there's people like that, but there are. And so you have to base your standards on science and not people's religion. Religion isn't based on science. That people need to understand the difference between facts and opinions.
Okay.
And that's a part of the educational process. That's an important part of the critical thinking skills, is to know that difference. And that's why people in the world of science don't have the same kinds of problems that the other people do, because they know the difference between a fact and a subjective opinion.
Okay.